Back on the Coaches Show, Columbia College Coaches Show here on Mediacom Channel 22. My name is Cosmo with Coach Melinda Wrye Washington from the volleyball squad. Off to a good start in conference play, in the lead as far as the standings are concerned. Also, your overall national ranking in NAIA stays at number 8 in the latest poll that comes out every Tuesday. A couple of matches on the road for you guys in conference play. Talk a little bit about your opponents on the road here in the next week or so.
We're going to go to Missouri Baptist, who's a big rival of ours, tomorrow night, and that's always a good match at their place. They bring out a big crowd, and they really want to beat us, so we really have to play well there. The gym is a little bit different than ours. There's some beams that hang down pretty low that aren't actually regulation height, so every time a ball hits the beams, it's a replay, and it kind of slows the match down a little bit. So we're going to need to make some adjustments when we play there and make sure and get a good win there. Then the following week we'll have Harris Stowe on the road again on Tuesday, and then Thursday William Woods back at home.
There's another rivalry matchup.
Right.
Anytime Woods and Columbia College are together on any athletic endeavor, it's always a rivalry match, and especially with conference play where every match is key as far as those standings to help towards the postseason.
Definitely. They brought a good crowd last year in the conference final and made their way all the way to the conference final to play us for the championship last year. So I look for them to bring a crowd and have a crowd, and it's always a rivalry. We seem to be everyone's big game.
Now, you mentioned earlier talking about as far as fitness of the players on your team, as far as not now having these long travel weekends, but now you've got some, I'd say, shorter trip. It's still a trip to St. Louis. As far as the conditioning, getting into the weight rooms a little bit more, working towards that overall conditioning for the postseason.
I've done things differently from year to year, and I've tried to load the schedule up front. I've tried to load the schedule at the end. I've tried a little bit of balance, and I think that this year we've gone with let's load it at the front end and the back end, and focus through our conference games and put a little bit more focus on those conference games in our stretch right now, and really use the time in between that conference rotation to lift and condition and get stronger for the end. It's also good to load the schedule up front to see what our weaknesses are early. We want to play good teams early so we can recognize and pinpoint what our weaknesses are. That way we have all year to work on them. We don't find out late that we need to work on something.
And they get a pretty good glimpse of some of those teams that are going to be there with the top 15 rankings staying the same, and you're already facing several of those teams already.
Right.
You know what to look for and what those teams can bring as they get down to the stretch to the tournament play.
Definitely, and it encourages them with their fitness level as well to really work on the conditioning and the lifting, to be able to see those teams early and to know what level they're going to need to play, what level they're going to need to be able to sustain through a match like that. And it makes it easier for coaches to be able to say, hey guys, we need to condition harder, we need to condition for this reason. And you can preach that all year, but until the players are in that situation and they learn, sometimes it's hard to really drive them to get better. But the girls know now what level they need to be and what level they need to sustain, not just for 1 or 2 matches like we did this past weekend, but potentially 7 matches in a national tournament to play at that level and to be able to have legs, and arms to be able to finish.
In addition to the adrenaline and all the other anxiety and everything else that comes along with playing for an opportunity at a national championship. A former player and now assistant of Coach Washington's will join us next here on the Coaches Show, Columbia Cougar Coaches Show on Mediacom Channel 22.